NBA playoffs as the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James trying to take out Houston and get the sweep once again. No Kevin Durant. Got the ankle issue, the bone bruise in the knee, and there's a good find from Reed Shepherd. Alperen Sengun under the cup, bucket good. The lead is 10. Amen Thompson, mid-range game, bucket good. It's an 8-point game. Jabari Smith Jr., the short miss, but there's Thompson. Actually works out better because the fight for the rebound ends up with a bucket plus a free throw, and Houston has a 9-point lead. It swells in the third. Good ball movement ends up in the hands of the shooter. Shepherd buries the three. It moves to 15. Then it's Thompson down the lane. Euro stepping off the window. The lead is 17. Stanford seems like if they get it to 18, they're going to put this thing to bed. Well, now it's 18. It's about to be 20. Sengun spinning with the left. You heard the and one scream. He was right. He had 19 and 6. Then Sengun down low, and you see him immediately grab his head. That's an elbow that led to a review and a flagrant 2 ejection, which earned him the gate and a wave bye-bye from KD. The win means that Houston might be able to say hello to him if he can get back on the floor. We're not done with the highlights here. Thompson with the rise to gather the pass. Not able to finish the alley-oop, but able to get the bucket. Thompson has a game-high 23. And we've seen some late-game chatter and shoving. Come on, Unc. We figure things out. LeBron James on what went wrong.
Defense wasn't our problem tonight. It was our offense. Defense wasn't our problem. We turned the ball 23 times for 30 points. So, yeah, another turnover right there. So,
24.
Yeah, 24. 24. So yeah, defense wasn't our problem. It was offense.
But Brian, when you have a 3-1 lead and you're going home, are you able to feel comfortable? You don't want to be going home.
There's no such thing as being comfortable until a series is done. No, and none of us are.
A gentleman's sweep, perhaps. Rockets do avoid being swept in 4. No team in NBA history, as you are undoubtedly aware, has overcome a 3-love series deficit. The Lakers monstrous favorites to win, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. Game 5, Wednesday in Los Angeles. Joined now by Kendrick, Perkins, a man who's fond of talking about standing on business, what the Rockets, I suppose, did tonight. But beyond getting swept, what they accomplished tonight? Anything that feels like momentum in your mind?
Well, Scott, listen, their backs were against the wall, and I'm here in Houston, in the city of Houston, the local media, they was on their asses like back pockets. And so all of a sudden, when you start to feel that type of pressure, self-pride and team pride kicked in, and what we saw tonight was them get back to their identity, especially on the defensive end, right? We saw them start playing with a level of physicality. We started seeing them make guys uncomfortable, especially on the perimeter. Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, those guys didn't have a big night tonight because of the perimeter defense that the Rockets put on them. Offensively, we saw them actually make shots, especially from the three-point line. That's been their Achilles heel all season long, in this postseason as well. And it started off with Reed Shepherd. When the Rockets are able to knock down threes and jump shots, it opens up everything else for them. And tonight we saw them get it done collectively in a balance of great physical play defensively and being able to get out in transition offensively and play their style of play.
Kevin Durant on the bench for this one, wasn't earlier. It's confusing to me, Perk. What do you make of this situation?
I mean, look, Scott, seriously, it's dysfunctional over there, man, to be honest with you, man. And the Rockets this offseason, they're going to have a lot of soul searching to do. I was happy to see Kevin Durant on the bench tonight. It seemed like it's a disconnect there in the locker room with Kevin Durant and the young guys. And in order for this Rockets organization to get where they're trying to go, and that's getting back to clutch city type vibes, meaning championship vibes, somebody's going to have to be that leader in the locker room, and it's going to have to be Kevin Durant. People don't realize how it is for us being a leader, and just being on the bench goes a long way to support your teammates, especially during a trial time like they was going through, being down 3-0.
It's now 3-1 in this series. It's also 3-1 in the Denver-Minnesota series. Unfortunately for the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards will miss some time. They did win that game, which was a coin flip before Edwards went out, with him out. And I'm just interested in if you feel like, with the emergence of Io and the ferociousness of that defense, what you expect to see from Minnesota in the short term without Ant.
You know what? I expect them to come together. I don't believe that they win Game 5 on the road in Denver, Scott, but I do think they got enough to pull it out in Game 6. This team is playing with a lot of confidence. This team is playing together. This team is playing with an edge. And I understand Anthony Edwards, we already know that he's the best player on the squad, but the defense of Rudy has been next level. When you look at Jaden McDaniels and the tenacity that he's brought in this rivalry, it's been next level. And I'm looking at a guy like Julius Randle to elevate his game even more. Julius Randle is still an all-NBA caliber player, and he's a guy that's capable for having a huge night. And then they already, addressed their bench issues. So you got Io and Bones Highland coming in off the bench. I believe that Minnesota has enough without Anthony Edwards to get one of these next 3 games if it go that far. I got them pulling it out at home in Game 6 because home, they play home, role players play better at home.
Yeah, they have shown no backup in their game, regardless of who the 5 are on the floor for the Timberwolves. You got to think the pride of Denver is going to at least force it to 6, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Perk, appreciate the time. Look forward to continuing the conversation as the playoffs move on.
Scott, thank you, man.
Speaking of a 3-1 series lead, San Antonio was trying to grab that on the road in Portland. Victor Wembanyama back from concussion protocol. Trailing by 4, Wembanyama down the lane from Harrison Barnes. Looking just fine, everybody. Up, or I should say down 2 at that point. But now it gets away from the Spurs in a hurry. Denny Avdia had a team-high 26. And Wembanyama will check back in. Here, Donovan Clingan, they're going to let the big man have that. He was only 1 of 6 from 3 in this game, but he hits that. And the Spurs found themselves down 17 heading into the locker room, their largest playoff deficit of the half since 2017. But now, here they come. Stephon Castle up top to Wembanyama. Then it's De'Aaron Fox. Fancy footwork for the 3. It's an 8-0 run. Then it's Castle, Luke Cornett. The blink of an eye, it's a 3-point game. Minute and a half later, Devin Vassell. Tough baseline J. The 21-4 run, the game is tied. Now it's Dylan Harper, who had the enormous Game 3. He misses. Wembanyama there to clean it up. Spurs outscore the Blazers by 17 in the 3rd. Brand new ball game heading into the 4th. And the Spurs keep their foot on the gas. Same script, alley-oop, Castle to Wembanyama. He had 27. Now it's Fox with a game-high 28. Again, the footwork to get his balance and rhythm. Buries the 3. They're up 10. It's now 12. And then Castle with the bucket says, here, you can have this. Avdia is not in the mood for any of that nonsense. He says a lot of bad words. Wow, that's actually not very nice at all, what he said. Here's Wembanyama about the process of being cleared medically.
I won't get into the details. I don't want it to become a distraction. Ask me again after the end of the season. But again, all the doctors, especially on the Spurs, but the doctors all around, they were great. Took great care of me. But the way the situation was handled was very disappointing. Not on the Spurs again. But as I said, I won't get into the details. But I'm not saying that not playing was a good or bad decision. It was a decision. I'm not saying it was good or bad. But the way the situation was handled, very disappointing.
At what point tonight did they let you know for sure you were going to be able to play? Like, how long did you have to wait?
I want to answer this question. They, who do you mean by they? And let me ask you the question. Who do you mean by they?
Yeah, medical professionals.
Okay, I won't answer.
Just to clarify, it's not the Spurs staff at all. It's the league.
It's the NBA.
The league appointed doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, the doctors on either side were great.
Clearly frustrated with the process, but now back and clearly none the worse for wear. Spurs win a pair of games in Portland, one with, one without Wembanyama, but both games where they trailed Portland by 15 or more in both, and won both by double digits. This is some impressive early answers about how is this team with no playoff experience going to respond in these bright light moments. It's early, but so far, so very good. When we continue on SportsCenter, Philadelphia heading into Game 4 as Joel Embiid returns after a 2.5-week absence following emergency appendectomy surgery in Houston. They needed him and everybody else to come up big to try to even this series up. Embiid down the lane early on. Sixers lead by 1. First bucket of the game on the way to 26-10. But the story of this game were the threes for the Celtics. I don't think anybody in the league's better at beating the buzzer than Peyton Pritchard. He's off the wrong foot. Stanford Steve said this would screw me up. I agree. I don't know how he did it. Here's the call. Our friend Mike Tirico.
Pritchard time. So good at the end of quarters. Is he going to do it again? Is he going to do it again? He did it again!
Nobody better beating the buzzer than that guy. 18 in the first half for Pritchard. Celtics have a huge lead. It continues. Jaylen Brown steps into a three. That's bottoms. The lead's 20. Now it's Jason Tatum. The remarkable comeback continues. Of course, tore his Achilles last year in the playoffs against the Knicks. He's back and fantastic. Now it's Pritchard again, a playoff career high of 32. Give me all three of these. 24 threes in the game for the Celtics. That is a franchise record. They're rolling in this one. Tatum again. He had 37 boards, 11 assists. And y'all got to do better than this. Tough one for Philly as Embiid returns, but not nearly enough. Tatum dominant again Sunday. Third career playoff game with 30 and 10, breaking a tie with Larry Legend for the second most in Celtics history. Tatum trails only John Havlicek, who did it 4 times. The early action on Sunday from Toronto. The North trying to even this series at 2 games apiece. Raptors couldn't buy one from 3. Missed their first 14. But despite that, they're about to take the lead into the locker room as Brandon Ingram, the thin man, hits that. It's a 10-0 run into the locker room, wraps up 2 at the break. Cavaliers down 3. Midway through the 4th, Donovan Mitchell had 20, ties it at 74. Next Cavs possession. Mitchell, the kick, James Harden. Good head fake, gets the clean look. He hits it for 3. He had 19 and 8 assists. Cavs up by 3. Off the miss, there's a follow slam. Colin Murray-Boyles, who had 15 and 10. Down 5, down low. Barrett with the miss. And again, Murray-Boyles gets the board, kicks out to Ingram. Got to have it. They get it. They only had 4 threes made in the game. That was a big one. He had 23. Now it's R.J. Barrett bulling his way to the cup. Cuts the lead to 1. We're under a minute to go. As the Cavs inbound, Jamal Shedd's a dude. He understands the situation, and he attacks the ball, and it creates a violation as the Cavs don't get it across midcourt. Scotty Barnes, we haven't showed him to you yet. This dunk would have brought the house down or blown the roof off. Either way, he goes to the free throw line. Steve, you got to make your fouls.
Got to make your fouls.
He made his fouls, makes them both. He had 23, 6 free throws in the final minute of the game. Down 3, Mitchell with the pump, can't get it. Goes flying into the crowd. Thankfully, everybody in the crowd was okay. Thankfully for the home team and their fans, they're cheering another finish to a quarter in the 4th like they had in the 2nd. That was enough to get the victory as the Cavaliers fall in this one. Donovan Mitchell, 6 of 24 from the floor, which is his 2nd worst shooting performance in his playoff career. A ton of credit a ton of credit to the man you see in the picture. Not just the points that Barnes had, but the defense he had on Mitchell.